Welcome to this new tutorial of LizaJuice, the laser synthesizer. I'm very excited today because this tutorial finally digs into the structure of LizaJuice and allows you to learn how to create your own laser shapes and how to upload them onto LizaJuice. And my main reason for creating LizaJuice is to create a community of users that can exchange new ideas of laser creation, so new patterns, new shapes. So I'm looking forward to your creativity. So to work with LizaJuice, you need to understand a little bit about audio signals, because as I said in the first tutorial, LizaJuice works with audio signals, and this is what we use to deflect the mirrors in our lasers to create the shapes and the colors. So the software that we use is Pure Data. Pure Data can be found easily from your browser by typing Pure Data and then going into downloads. Pure Data is a free software that is multi-platform, so it works in different operative systems and comes in different versions. We don't need complicated ones. We can use the simple vanilla distribution. So by clicking here, you can download it for your own operative system, Mac, Windows, or Linux. After downloading, you can install it and open it, and it looks like this. Now I have it already with something written, but usually you should have it like this. So nothing is written and it's just present there. Okay, so Pure Data works as basically as an audio studio or a synthesizer. Even is a network of objects that connect to each other via cables. So we need to learn a little bit of syntax, vocabulary like in a new language, and once you have a few words, you can start building your own simple laser synthesizer patches. So a patch is an empty document at first that we need to create. So we go into new, file new, and you see here there are a lot of shortcuts. So once you repeat an operation many times, it's good to use the shortcut. And this is a new patch, is empty, and we need to create the objects. So we can go into put an object, we can add messages, number, many things that you will learn, but for as a start, we start with an object, which is the majority of what we do. So here an object is just an empty box, and he wants us to write a function inside. For example, in this case is oscillator, OSC, tilde because it's a signal, audio signal, and then a space, and we can type a number like 200. So this creates a sinusoidal oscillator, a very smooth wave with a frequency of 200 Hz. Now we want to control the volume of this oscillator by creating another object by pressing Command 1 or Control 1. This is our shortcut, and we can add a multiplier with an asterisk and a tilde, and then a number, for example 0.3. Okay, now every object we create has inputs on the top and outputs on the bottom, so we can connect the output with an input. And to do that, we position the mouse over the output, a circle forms, we can click and then drag with the mouse until we get another circle in the top input of the multiplier, and then we let go. Now these two objects are connected, and the signal flows from top to bottom. We need another object to listen to this sound, and we can create it by typing Command 1. And we need a DAC, a digital analog converter, with a tilde and a space 1, space 2. This is a output. A digital audio converter is your sound card, so we're just sending the signal out to your sound card, and we can listen to it. If you cannot hear the sound, it's because your engine is off here. and you can switch it on. We can also add, for example, a number to control this this patch, and to do that we can just put a number and connect it to the right inlet of the multiplier. By connecting a value here, we override the value that we already wrote. Now we are in edit mode, but an edit mode allows us to create our objects, move our objects around, but we can also switch out of edit mode, and now we are in play mode where we cannot move our objects anymore, but we can change their values here. So for example, I can type 1 or 0, or I can drag and move these integers around. And if I want to access the decimals, I can hold shift and drag up and down my values. So now I can open the volume and I can lower the volume or raise it and interact with my patch. So this is just a brief introduction on Pure Data. Of course, there are many resources on the web, forums, and even Facebook groups with very competent users that can help you, and they are very helpful in general to answer questions, doubts, or even help you solve problems and creative issues. So, and I will also try to be available on the Discord page or a Scanlines link to answer questions and how to make certain designs, let's say. But now what I wanted to show you is how to make your own. So if you will go on the LizaJuice drive here, you will find here in this folder this one template patch. And when you open it, for example, let's start with the patch simple. If we open it, we see already that I prepared the structure of your patch for LizaJuice. What we see here is 5 outlets. These are wave X, so horizontal, vertical, wave Y, RGB, the colors. And here on the side we have the simulator, which is this black window. The simulator accepts the same number of inputs, X, Y, and RGB. So we can start already trying something out. For example, let's make an oscillator at 25. This oscillator can be connected to the snake in and to the simulator and to the output. Now we don't see anything because we miss some color, so we can create a constant color. It's sig1, and sig1 can be connected to R and the simulator. And now we see a horizontal line, red line. So this starts telling us something about our space, our simulator. The simulator has, it's like a Cartesian space. So we have -1 on the X to the left, +1 to the right, and Y is similar, -1 to the bottom and +1 to the top. So now this oscillator creates values that go from -1 to 1, 25 times per second, so very fast, and it looks like a solid line. But we can add a number. We can also go here and say put a number that overrides this frequency. So for example, we can put 1. And now we see that the line is not solid, but there is an oscillation like Knight Rider from left to right and back. And with 1 second, we can reduce it. So we can have 2-second oscillator or a 4-second oscillation. And this is our laser dot. It moves very slow from right to left. Okay. Why don't we do something else? We can add a vertical oscillator. Tuck, tuck. This vertical oscillator now is 25 times faster. I mean, it's 25, frequency 25, and this is frequency 0.25. Because this new object is not active now. But if we write, for example, 25, 25, then they are in sync and they create a circle. We don't see the circle because it's the diagonal now, but we can move it. We will see. Okay, this is a circle that we move, and when we get to 25, it's more or less a circle, but when we add a little deviation, then the circles start moving around. And we can find many interesting properties by going to multiples of each other. So for example, if we go to 50, we have an octave, so a figure of 8, etc., etc., etc. The important thing here is that if we click right on an object in edit mode, we can see the help file, and the help file helps us understand what the object does, what inputs do, outputs to, and similar objects to the one we are expecting. So this is a good way to expand our vocabulary and understand how the software works by going through help files. But here the interesting part is that we can reset the phase and by sending a message to the right inlet. And this phase can be reset every time. A good choice is 0.25. I know for sure, because at the moment of creation of the two oscillator, difference of 0.25 creates a circle because you want to have a sinusoid and a cosine. It doesn't matter for now if you're not familiar with these things, but I tell you just because it can be useful for the future. Here I'm creating other signals for the colors, so I can have a yellow, and adding a blue to the yellow, I create a white. That's it. So this is my first patch that I can, for example, save as, I will choose a number because LizaJuice works with numbers. She likes to load the patch with numbers. So this is gonna be patch number 5 for me. And I can show you even a bit more because this patch will create a circle because it has the same frequency. Now we're not seeing it because these objects still have the same values, but if I do this, I can add 25 and I have a circle. Okay, but what I want is to create a square. So let's see how I can create a square out of this. Well, what is a square really? A square is like a circle that has been clipped. So there is an object called clip, tilde. And I know that, for example, I can use the value 0.6, 0.6, minus 0.6, 0.6. So that means that this oscillator is clipped when it reaches minus 0.6 and 0.6. So it stays only in the center. Now I'm going fast, of course, because I have experience with this, but you will get there, okay? It's just a matter of understanding how to make things. I do the same for the Y, and I see that the circle, when it gets clipped, it basically gets reduced to its size, and then it gets shrunk to 0.6 and 0.6. So this is my second patch that I can save as number 6. And I can decide, for example, I want let's say I want a purple, oh no, a yellow square. Okay, and I want a red red circle. Now I am deleting all the extra files, the simulation files, because I don't need them anymore. Okay. So once I am happy, I can delete all the extra files, and then bam, I have only, oops, here I deleted the colors too. So now I have only the parts that I need. Okay. What I'm missing now is to load this value at the startup of LizaJuice. So what I should do is add an object called loadBang. LoadBang is an object that when the patch starts, forces this object to push, and it's loaded. And now I save the patch, and I do the same thing in the other patch. So also here I have to add the loadBang, so that this value is created and loaded at the beginning of our patch. So now that I have our patch, I can load them onto LizaJuice. I can connect to the server, to the LizaJuice hotspot, internal hotspot here. And then I can connect to the server going to my Finder. And I have here the name of the LizaJuice server, which is 10.42.0.1. You can do the same in Windows for sure somewhere. I don't know, in Explorer for sure. But let's say you want to do this, you can use either this name or the other name is identical. Once you connect, it probably the first time asks you for the credentials, and the credentials are Pi for the login and Lisa for the password. And the same thing is mentioned in the manual if you need that. So once we are here, we can dig into LizaJuice's architecture, and we see that this is the folder structure. It's not important. The most important is this folder called patches, and here you can find the patches. So these patches are the patches that are loaded with the distribution, and I can open each one of them to check how they are made. This is a good way to understand how to take, I don't know, inspiration how to make patches. So for example, here we have 3 subfolders, and I can double click to open them, 3 subpatches I should say. And this is the MIDI subpatch, then there is the control subpatch. It seems complicated, but it's quite easy. It's just a connection between the MIDI values, the MIDI channels to the values in the patch, and here is the patch. And as you can see, it's exactly the same structure. You have send wave X, send wave Y, RGB. So every patch has the exact same structure, and just above there is something else that is used to do more complex shapes, but it's nothing that you cannot you can learn to do yourself. Okay, so by looking at these patches you can learn a lot. Let's say now that we want to drop our patches, we just take them and we move them here, and now our patches are 5 and 6 in the position that we chose. Of course, as you will probably understand, the number of the patch is also the order of loading in the display of LizaJuice. So if you want to change order or add patches or duplicate patches, you can do it just by copying and renaming folders, files. So it's that simple. So now that I have uploaded my patches, I can restart LizaJuice and should work. Let's try. See you soon. Okay, I just restarted LizaJuice, and now I see that we have patch 0, patch 1, plus 2, patch 2, patch 3, patch 4, and finally patch 5 and patch 6. So the red circle and the square. So this is just to show that everything works, and now I'm ready for my show. So I hope this was a useful video. We learned how to make simple patches and how to upload them on LizaJuice. The next tutorial we will see probably how to complete these patches with MIDI controls and touch OSC how you call that, script layout. So this really completes every patch. If you want to distribute your patch, you can just send the PD file, the MIDI controls, the list of MIDI controls, and the touch OSC layout, and each other user should be able to integrate them and work with your patch. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you will learn something useful, and I see you the next tutorial.